Yo, what's up? I'm Brian here doing another video for you guys, and this time I've come back from camping so I can talk about all sorts of stuff, and they decided, hey, let's go ahead and reveal a whole bunch of stuff for Brian to talk about when he gets back. Anyways, the first thing I wanted to bring up is, I think this is an SDCC exclusive pack, I might be wrong, but this is the Void Rival set that comes with, I'm sorry if I butcher the names, I'm not really a comic guy, but I think it's Derek and Solila? Am I getting that right? But the main point that I want to talk about is it comes with Jetfire. This is going to be a direct repaint of the Siege Jetfire, so it's going to have no differences, except I'm not really seeing any of the gear and attachment that Jetfire usually has with the Siege figure, but I imagine it's going to be packed somewhere. We didn't really get a whole lot of images. It's basically just this, the back of the box, and the jet mode. So what I like here is that they're going for the more cartoon deco, which makes sense. I mean, this is going to be based on the comics, but the more classic retro style does evoke something that's more directly from the cartoon, especially when this Jetfire in its standard robot mode looks very much like the original cartoon. Let's go ahead and take a look at the jet mode for Jetfire, as well as a couple of the extra figures. And I like the figures. I like that they scale pretty well with the Jetfire. And I love that bright, bold blue going on for both of the cockpits, because you have the main cockpit, and then you also have the canopy on top, which is in the jet boosters. You can see that it does come with the flare effects. I'm not sure if there's any additional paint with the flare effects. It looks like it's just the basic orange, but maybe that it has a darker tint. I do like the red, especially the white line going on the jetpack, and then the red line going around the canopy there. And yeah, I already have Siege Jetfire, so I don't feel like I need to go ahead and grab this, but it is a nice looking redeco of Jetfire for something that's, well, also Jetfire. Anyways, moving on, we also had a couple of surprises. This is going to be the first Transformers Age of the Primes 4-pack. So this is kind of a tradition for Transformers. Every year we get a 4-pack. We got that since, I think it was Kingdom, and then throughout the 3 years of Legacy, we had 3 different multi-packs. I have, I think, 2 of them. And this is going to be the starting one for Age of the Primes. It's going to include a bunch of different figures, most of them from G1, but then there's the addition of another one. We've got Ultra Magnus in the Deluxe class form. We've got Bumper, which I'm very happy that they decided to finally produce Bumper. We have Horri-Bull, which I believe we had the Little Titans Returns guide, the Little Titan Master, but we didn't actually have the full-on figure, so they finally decided to do that. With these 4-packs, they usually do one of the Headmasters that they didn't originally do. So yes, that Headmaster gimmick, by the way, is going to continue. And then we also have Nemesis Prime. This is going to be the lone Voyager of the pack. So starting off, I want to go back to Ultra Magnus. This is going to be the toy version of the Ultra Magnus, so it's going to be based on the core Ultra Magnus that you would get from the original G1 toy. And what I love about that is it's based on that Optimus Prime Retro G1 Deluxe, the one that's given the articulation. You know, it's not going so far as missing link, but it still looks like the original toy. And I think that for replicating that original Ultra Magnus, that's based on the unarmored look, I think that looks fantastic. It also comes with the blue axe, which I think looks very cool. Bumper does look a lot like Bumblebee, but I mean, you're going from a yellow Volkswagen to a yellow Volkswagen. We actually had some listings that talked about what we were getting in this 4-pack, and one of the things said that Bumper is going to have new feet, and I'm not really seeing the new feet. Maybe I'm wrong about it, but it still looks like that original Volkswagen, so I'm not really seeing much of a difference here. But he does come with a completely new head. It is that SS86 version of the Bumblebee that's being repainted, which I'm totally fine with. I like that version, so, you know, that's cool. And then we've got Horri-Bull. Now, Horri-Bull is going to be a retool of the Skull Cruncher. And for a lot of these Titans Returns remakes or new figures that come out in the 4-packs, usually they try to remold an existing figure, like they did that with Mindwipe, I believe, with someone else. And it seems like that's going to be the case here, obviously. The problem with that is a lot of the times they have loose joints, and considering that this is going to be a remold of Skull Cruncher, that's really concerning, because that was one of the weakest figures in Titans Returns. But on the bright side, this one seems to come with heels this time, which was one of the biggest issues for Skull Cruncher. Comes with the new weapon piece, a double barrel thing, and then I think its gray weapon is the same thing. You can kind of see the beast mode in the back. Actually, I do have a more up-close shot for that. And then you can see the horns on the top there, which I really do like how that comes out. Also forgot to mention Ultra Magnus has the blue mask. I love that on the white Prime. But yeah, you see the horns for the head, and the chest even looks like the original retro Headmaster toys. And then for Nemesis Prime, what I love about this is it definitely reminds me of the Takara versions that they usually did for Nemesis Prime, because you can really see the dark red and the teal going into this toy. And I love the red battle axe. It definitely reminds me more so of some of the Takara repaints, because Takara usually did, at least back in the day, they did a Black Optimus Prime repaint for no reason. Hasbro wouldn't bother most of the time, but Takara was just all over that. Every time there was an Optimus Prime, there was a Nemesis Prime repaint. I'm curious to see if the Transformers 1 Optimus Prime will get the same treatment, but I love the red battle axe. I like that this is a lot darker compared to the Stunnicon Motormaster. So it's not going to look like it's the same guy back to back. And another cool thing is that this one comes with the battle mask. So it is going to be a new head. I wonder if that battle mask version was going to be suggested for the original Optimus Prime, but they switched it out for the exposed face, which I'm totally fine with. But now I'm curious to see if we'll get a battle mask version of that Optimus Prime down the road. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to Studio Series. We've got Wheeljack. So this is going to be based on Devastation. I'm sorry that I mess up on my words today. But this is going to be based on Transformers Devastation, and to no surprise, it's going to be a repaint of the Earthrise Wheeljack. We kind of all suspected it. I don't know anyone who would be shocked. But what I like about this is the windscreen parts you can see in the legs is going to be solid plastic. One of the problems that the original Wheeljack had was that those parts would crack over time because it was made from clear plastic. This is going to be more solid. Also, you know, a lot of white. It seems very bright, very clean, which definitely reminds me of the 5-pack version of Wheeljack, but I don't mind the cartoon look for this. It does still carry the same head, it still carries the same wings, and then it also comes with the same rocket piece, which he's holding, but now they decide to add an extra laser weapon, which is very much like the retro design. But what I like about that is one of the complaints that people had for the Wheeljack was he didn't come with a handheld weapon, just the rocket. The 5-pack tried to change that by giving a repaint of the Elite 1 weapons, but now he just comes with an entirely brand new weapon. And I like the look of this in particular. I think it's fitting, especially for Transformers Devastation. We also have Sideswipe, which, to no surprise, is going to be a repaint of the Kingdom Sideswipe. I believe he comes with a newly designed logo on the chest. I mean, it's the same Autobot symbol, but I think the whiteout is a bit more bolder. I think that the white is a bit brighter, too. He's got white on the knees, he's got white on the face, he also has silver toes, but this is going to be that Kingdom version of Sideswipe, so you're going to get the Earth mode. I'm not seeing the spoilers on the back, so I don't think they changed that, but I kind of understand. Honestly, I really like the look of this Sideswipe, and we can never escape the Sideswipe repaints and remolds. Anyways, moving on, we also have, this is something I'm going to talk about back to back. We know about this. It's the War for Cybertron, Optimus Prime, and Megatron from the Gamer Edition line. These are probably not something that I'm going to pick up because I have the original Optimus Prime and Megatron. But if you're thinking that, oh, they're just repacking the same figures, you'd be wrong because they actually have some slight touch-ups. It's not a complete overhaul, a complete paint change, but what they did for the Optimus Prime, at least from what I could see, is they changed out the windows from silver to black with the red stripes in the middle, and I actually like how that turned out. Also, you can see some red lights in the legs. You can see them inside the legs now. So they did touch up a couple of things. Megatron is a little bit harder to see. I think they changed up the face paint on the figure. Maybe I'm wrong, but he looks to be much darker, especially for the legs. This one looks a little more black compared to the original dark gray, but I could be wrong because in person it might match. I guess we'll have to wait and see, but yeah, slight color changes. Again, it's not something that's going to make me change my mind on these two figures. I'm still going to keep them in my collection, but at least it's something. So with that out of the way, what do you guys think? Please comment below. Let me know. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and all those fun doodads, and I'll see you guys next time.